Good morning, Twitch, and good morning, YouTube. Now, welcome to welcome to me, not knowing what I'm doing early in the morning. My name is Johnny, and I will be doing this for the next 2 hours. So let's just jump into it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. Yes. Okay, so there's something I wanted to do today, and that's I wanted to see if I can. Hold on, I need to put the Claude chat window, although I don't use Claude as much anymore. I'm just gonna keep the Claude chat window here. You don't need to see all of it because I'm not using it. And I'm gonna have chat up here. Or should I hide the chat and put Claude up here? Either way, so that you can't see that nobody's actually watching. So that's fine too. So if you're asking why am I doing this when nobody's watching, I'm doing this because I don't know. There's no good reason to live stream and nobody's watching you, but I already actually learned a bunch of stuff from people who decided to watch and just like looked at my process and were like, "Oh, you're missing this, or you should be using that." So, I feel like I feel like there is a benefit to what I'm doing. So, one of those benefits is that one of the chatters told me to use state trees and told me that it will make my life easy, and it made my life very hard for about 2 weeks. And now it's not so terrible. However, oh, excuse me. It's very early. It's only 6:10 here in Thailand, so then I need to actually write a reminder for myself. Okay. Just don't want to forget. I have to respond to an email and don't want to forget about that. Okay, so now that that's done, let's go back to. Okay, so yesterday I decided I want to send a signal to the UI which state the unit is in. So right now it doesn't say, right? It just says idle all the time when it really shouldn't. So what I want to do is I want to run a task that would say state tree task, and I want to figure out how to do this because there should be a way to have one task. I'm gonna call it STT unit update UI. And I want to say, hey, here's a parameter. Here's the new state. Unit state, unit status. That's the one I chose. Okay, so here's this. And I also need one more variable that is the unit. I'm going to say BP unit. And this one should definitely be the context one. And when we enter state, event state, there we go. what we want to do is say status trigger, status change. What is it called? Status change event. Status change. Status changed event call. So I call this status change event. And I'm gonna send the new state. Now, the thing is, I need this new state to be different per. So let's say we switch from idle to moving, right? So here we go. Update UI. Let's compile this and let's say, and here's the thing, right? I want this. I wish this was like, you know, a drop down where I could change it. Unit status. So I can do this, right? So I can send this parameter here, but isn't there like a custom way to do it? You know? Because as it is, now I have to set like 4 different parameters or like parameter per, you know, per the thing. Okay, unit on idle, unit clear, unit to attack. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, let me just try it out. Unit status. There we go. And I'm gonna say idle. Okay, I'm gonna rename it status idle. And we're gonna say parameters idle. There we go. And so now excuse me. Okay. Okay. Now just so we know it's coming from there. And it does says moving, and it does say moving, so that's good. And now it says idle. So it does work this way, but yeah, and now I have to employ either okay, let me try this one because this one is better for this. Okay. What is the Unreal Engine 5.8 when creating a state tree task? How can I send an input parameter without creating a, what is it called? It's like a global parameter, right? needs to display its status for the UI. I'm using just one task for every state tree state, and I want to send the idle moving tag statuses as parameter for this task. I do already have an enum. Okay, let's try this. I wonder what it will tell me. See, I can do this, but I don't really want this parameter to change, or I don't think I want that. You know, so yeah. Okay, let me try one more thing. This one then would be see, and that's not even visible up here, so I don't think that matters. Yes, you can do this. I need a dedicated parameter. Just expose the enum as a property on your task. When your blueprint add the variable to your enum, the variable set. Oh, instance editable. Okay, that might be the problem. Okay, instance editable. Okay, that did not do it. Blueprint read only or blueprint read write. Well, no, that's the default. That's not helpful. Hmm? Yeah. Well, it doesn't seem to be doing what it says it should be doing, so remote parameter. No, if I do this, then it will work. Yeah. State tree task nodes. Okay. Okay, I'll unit update UI. I'm gonna remove this one. Then I'm gonna remove it from this task as well. And see if we can do it again. So let's add unit update UI. There we go. Yeah, but right now I did it. Expose and Paul. I don't, you know, I don't know. That's the thing. There we go. So this is the thing that I need to set up. So it cannot be an input variable. Instead, it will just be okay. Hold on. Cannot category default. There we go. And now, yes, okay, this is exactly what I wanted. Good. So it does work. It's a little counterintuitive, but sure. Moving. Update UI. Moving to attack. And this one. Unit. Update UI. It's going to be fighting. Okay. Turn off the AC now. Okay. So now if we compile all of this, we should be able all units are changing status. That's good. This one is now moving to attack. Again, change status and changing status to fighting. Okay, so it does work. Moving. Yeah, this guy is not in his place. Idle. There we go. Okay. They're still kind of doing the fighting thing. A lot of them are stuck in a waiting to fight mode, which is something I will have to eventually fix. But I'm not gonna work on that right now. Yeah, the soldier state tree is out of sync now, technically. Need to fight. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm really glad this actually works. And so perhaps, you know. Okay, we don't need the sprint string anymore. Okay, so what else is there? Let's go back to the unit. I don't know why all the blueprints are not up there. They really should be. Okay, so I don't need these, and I actually could just go and remove the status of the unit. As a because the fighting status is also set here, and call the status change event. Yeah, clearing the timers. That's no longer a thing for these. On unit enters fighting status. Okay, send state tree event. Yeah. So this is a whole other thing that I'm gonna have to rework the fighting itself, but not right now. So here we have the status again. So we don't need to do this anymore. And we also don't need to do this anymore because removing the enemy unit on attack is now on every of these nodes. So have clear unit to attack, clear unit to attack. So it should be fine. Okay, what about some other references? Here we go. This is not even being used anymore, so that's fine. And this is attack, right? This is assign attack position. Mm-hmm. So it's still so fresh in my mind that I kind of have to assign attack positions to unit. Okay, well maybe not that. Assign attack positions to unit, attack enemy unit. Yeah. So we're no longer using this. No, I'm just wondering where the attack is coming from. There's an attack signal somewhere. I'm just not sure where it's coming from. Strategy controller. I shouldn't be strategy controller. If anything, it would be the unit manager. Handle attack order. Right. So handle attack order. Is inside attack enemy unit. And this attack enemy unit is called one. So at selected units, so BP unit attack, handle attack order. We say handle attack order, we say move to attack. And the thing is, before we send this, so in the unit manager, I'm pretty sure before we say handle attack order, we assign target positions to units. Assign target positions. Attack enemy unit. Assign target positions to units. Yeah, it's unfortunately the way I wrote this. Well, it wasn't very good. Yeah, so we got this one that just says move to attack, and the coordinates are like they came before, so I'm pretty sure it's fine. This is attack, assign attack positions to units. Okay, whatever. Yes, attack enemy unit coming from the manager. From here. So we got the enemy And we say attack enemy unit. We set this as the enemy unit to attack. Okay. And now we say handle attack order. And we just say move to attack. And all I'm wondering is, how does the unit know its target positions when we do that? Unit manager. Okay, so the strategy controller says attack enemy unit. Unit manager gets that unit, sets it as the enemy unit to attack, and then we say handle attack order. So handle attack order, we said move to attack, unit move to attack. Here is where we get this, which is correct. But where are the coordinates coming from? Because the unit itself does have assign attack positions. We're calling it in attack enemy unit. But are we calling attack enemy unit? Okay. So it recalculates the position. Okay. That works for me. Because this attack enemy unit, that's triggered from the state tree. EP unit, move to attack enemy unit. Okay, so now it makes sense. So we have this attack enemy unit, we set it as the enemy unit, and we say handle attack order. That sends the state to this, and this triggers attack enemy unit, and then turns on the timer so that the units are actually chasing the unit. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just gonna have to get used to the idea that this is how it works. This is how it's a little more complicated than I would have wanted, and I really should rename my functions, but oh well. But I don't think I need trigger fight status, do I? The soldier sends it. Watch is dying. Oops. That was probably very... Sorry, I knocked over my microphone. That must have been unpleasant. Anyway. Okay. That's better. Now, the question becomes... how do we... The soldier says trigger fighting status. On collision with enemy soldier, blah blah blah. fight status thing is I don't know if I want to spend too much time on that, honestly. I still think that if I take the ST unit, ST soldier actually, I could tell the unit here that it's fighting. That's probably what should happen. Just like send a signal, just like it sends a signal here. It's just like sends the state tree event. It says I am fighting right now. Maybe I should just copy paste that shit, but actually not really. I don't know. I don't know how much I want to spend on fighting right now, because that's not what I want to. Okay, I'm gonna just leave trigger fighting status here. Am I don't know. Unit enters. It's like logic that shouldn't really be here. But at the same time, I don't know if I just want to. Okay, trigger scan. Assign target positions to units. Assign attack positions to units. Okay, so this whole thing can go away then. I was actually in the middle of removing status, so maybe I should get back to that. Find all the references. Okay, should retry movement is not even on my radar right now, right? I'm pretty sure I'm not using it. I mean, I am using it, but set timer function name should retry movement. Yeah, and even in the event graph, it's somewhere in here, but I don't care about that. So let's go back here. Let's try status and class member all. Update display. Update unit status. Okay, this is an interesting thing because I have, so it reads the displayed unit status. this I did this UI part some time ago. I'm not 100% sure I know how it works anymore, but you know, we're gonna have to remove this. To do, there we go. That works. Okay, and where else is the status here? I'm just gonna say yes here, but should retry movement is not really being used at all. It's like a self-recursive thing. And I'm not using it at all. I'm currently using the handle move order state tree version anyway. So now we should have, what is it? Idle, moving. See that the card didn't even, the card is still working correctly. It just says moving, moving, moving. Now that one's idle, idle, idle. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just like at the beginning. It's like the unit card update display. Okay. If it ever comes up, I will, you know, check, but it doesn't seem to be causing any issues right now. I'll probably have to rethink the UI a little bit over time. Does the camera still work? Oh, it does. Okay, that's nice. That's nice to know. Okay, so if I say run, okay, these guys are gonna run. So the whole thing still works. That's nice. And the selection works as well, right? And the shift also works, but control doesn't work. But shift works. Yeah, shift doesn't work to deselect units. That's something that there's been a bug on my list to fix that for a while. Okay, let's see if we can get them to. Yeah, okay. So unit scan for enemies, attack enemy unit. So I think this function is poorly named. Attack enemy unit. Assign attack positions to units. And we call that from here, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna say calculate attack positions. And wherever this is called, now it says it's not called anywhere, but it is actually called here. Calculate attack positions. should do, I should actually split it into two different functions. So you got attack enemy unit. And in here, I would say calculate attack positions. How is it called up here? This. Calculate attack positions, and then, okay, so that's fine. We should say attack enemy unit. We should also keep that here. Attack enemy unit. And here the name remains, so that should be okay. It compiled fine. And on the attack enemy unit, I should also say assign attack positions to unit, because calculate attack positions should just return the positions. That's the thing that should happen. Output positions, but the output of this function itself should be the positions. Positions transform array. So I have a return node here. And we can also return rotation, although I don't know why we're doing that, but okay. That's a rotator single, returning that here. And instead of this, inside the attack function, we're going to say position, rotation. There we go. And now each function does one thing: attack enemy unit coordinates, calculation, and assign. And then both these functions could actually just be private. I'm not gonna do that now, but they could be private, I'm pretty sure. Could they be pure? Force this to be a pure function? I don't know. Can I not turn the function into, oh, there we go, private. The whole thing compile. It would compile. So that's, yeah. The attack enemy unit is the only function that will be exposed to, you know. I'm probably not gonna play with private and public for now. Assign target positions to units. Yeah. Yeah, because both these assign functions just take positions and send the, you know, move order. And I'm not even sure we need to do all of this. You know? Because I'm pretty sure, because the way the soldier is done, it's like it says move to target positions. So if I just switch his state to moving, you should take the positions and just keep moving there. That's actually something I might want to test out. But I'm basically doing that here, so that's fine. Okay, never mind. I'm not testing out anything. And again, I don't know if I should send these. Okay, I'm gonna write that into here. I'm gonna say, okay, so today is the 24th. I actually did not work on it yesterday. So this can move here. I'm gonna say should soldiers send signals to unit about their status changes? My guess is yes. Or the unit should send a signal to the soldiers, but because at this point we're going from top down. So as a commander, send a signal to the unit, and then the unit sets its status to move. And so the unit should be like, hey, I'm gonna tell all the soldiers. So it could be a task that says, you know, basically to all the soldiers, start moving or set your status to move. Because we do have target move positions. So basically this would be, I would just say set the positions and then set the state tree event to move. And in that, you know, it would be automatic. Like when the unit gets a move status, the soldiers move. I'm thinking if it makes sense or no. Can't decide. I think it does make sense. I actually don't know if it would work, but I could try it. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. What was I doing now? I don't even know. Code cleanup. Whatever. Let's commit this. And now let's do it this way. So I'm gonna just take this. I'm just gonna do this. Boom. Boom. Okay. Now I can create a new state tree task. It's gonna say stt init move order. Really doesn't really matter. I just want to test it out. So let's do this. The input is gonna be, so we're coming from, so it could be context actually, soldiers, and we're gonna say this should be a BP soldier. It's gonna be what? All right, because it's, yeah, okay. It's a whole array. There we go. Okay, event enter state. So when we enter this state, we're going to tell all our soldiers to get your target position. Target positions. And this is an array of transforms, which we also have in the context, so it should be fine. And we're going to say get one of those and handle the move order. Okay. I don't know if it will work, but it might. So now that we have this, I have to put it into here. This is going to be init handle move order. And this move to attack. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I haven't compiled this. There we go. Target positions. It should be actor target move positions. And the soldiers should be these soldiers. There we go. That wasn't so bad. Handle move order. Check the reference of struct. Oh, so it cannot be context because it's not the thing, right? Okay, it's not going to be context. It's just going to be input. Sure. And this one is also just going to be input. There we go. Yeah, happy now. There we go. In moving, we have handle move order. There we go. We could technically do this with the moving to attack as well. And like, not only that, but also trigger the scanning. Technically, that could work. Okay, let's see if it works. Damn, okay. Mm-hmm. Hmm. So we didn't have, well, yeah, this is better. Yeah, okay. So it does work. It does work, which is nice. I just had to make sure that I can go from moving to moving. I didn't think would be necessary, but I'm thinking you know what, that's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm gonna get rid of this then. Assign target positions, assign attack positions. Yeah. Now I'm wondering if I should do the same thing for the attack positions. Attack positions. This is not necessary. Set target move position. And this is also not necessary, right? Because when I do halt, soldiers are idle. Soldiers. Unit holds to idle. Okay, let me actually try this. We're gonna take these soldiers and send them up here. And now we're gonna stop these guys. Okay, that worked. And these guys are gonna slow down and stop, and then they're idle. Okay. I don't know why. What the hell is this? Just the frame rate is kind of fucked. It started off okay, and now it's just, well, whatever. Okay, so got our soldiers. They all move and go idle, and then move again. So that's fine. Okay. Yeah. So I'm doing this here, which is why it doesn't need to be up here. If I don't set any target position, it will take its current position, this, and assign it. So that's good. So that's unit hold. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna try to finish this cleanup quick so that I can start working on the attacks. Soldier died event. I'm gonna keep that. Run, walk, changed event. This is the event that updates the UI about running and walking. That's fine. Okay, I think it's time to move to the soldier. Actually, maybe it's not time for that. Hold on. BP unit. Yeah, because these are all status changes. Do we have... Okay, we have UI, so I'm just gonna... UI status changed event. Okay, but this one... It's not actually used anywhere, is it? Well, it is technically used on this one. Call unit status changed event. Yes. It's kind of, yeah. Unit selection changed event, that's necessary. Camera focus event, that's necessary. Unit UI changed and unit soldier died event. Okay, so that's basically unit HP. Let's put it in that category for now. Yeah. Okay, so that's the unit cleanup complete, I would say. Let me run through the functions real quick again. Request camera, that's fine. Commands trigger. We will figure that out. Rethink with state trees when doing fighting logic. Just gonna say to do. There we go. Oh hey, the OGSGN. Hold on, I'm gonna do it this way so that you can see yourself. It's going fine. How about you? You know, I'm still just cleaning up the code because the way I wrote it at the beginning sucked. So gotta do some refactoring. Okay, I'm also gonna do this to do here. To do copy assign target positions to unit when doing fighting logic. I'm gonna push that forward a little bit. Okay, so the scanning is here. I actually really don't know what this does. This does nothing. It's like, I really don't know why it's even here when it does nothing. Oh yeah. That's pretty nice. I'm looking forward to. Are you using the Unreal, like the terrain generation stuff? I saw a lot of it in like trailers for, anytime they showcase the new version, they show a lot of that terrain generation. It looks like fun, but maybe it's not. I don't know. So it turns out I had a whole section here that did casting, which is expensive. Okay, what does this function do? Scan for enemies. It calculates my position. It calculates the enemy unit position. And then there's get actor. Okay, so that's the trace. I think what I was trying to do here was I think what I was trying to do here is to just make the unit stop if it cannot see the enemy it's chasing. But I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it, I'm just gonna say here, I'm gonna say to do hold unit if cannot see enemy. I guess. But for now, I don't have to do all the castings here. So that's dumb. Also, the whole scanning thing might be done differently. Going for PXX style, so when I get visuals, I can get before I represent the terrain. Right now, it's just basic height map with size and shape. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do too. Just, get some basic shapes, and then I feel like the visuals are just gonna come on their own, but this is why I'm still using the mannequins. Although the mannequins are probably pretty expensive in terms of performance. But I don't wanna invest money in buying assets when I am not sure if I'm just gonna keep going or if I'm gonna abandon this in a month. So I really am just trying to make sure I have something before I start buying things. But yeah, basic shapes. That's yeah. Okay. Does Humble Bundle sell like 3D assets? I didn't even know that. I will have to check it out then, because that's news to me. Like, yeah, as you can see, I have not done the research, so. Hmm. I have a friend who is also a game developer and who keeps buying up assets, and yeah, he keeps sending me assets of like dragons, because before I started doing this, I actually wanted to make a game about flying on dragons, kind of like a spiritual successor to the PlayStation 3 game Lair. And I had a kind of a prototype, but then I scrapped it because I realized I would need, you know, tons of assets, and if I wanted to make it like a story driven game kind of, and I don't have the, capabilities for that. But he keeps sending me these like hundreds of dollars worth of dragon assets, and I keep telling him, stop sending me shit, because I'm not gonna buy dragon assets if I'm not making a dragon game. So yeah, you can get most packs are worth 5,000. They sell it for 40. Yeah. Okay, I might check that out. Not a human's weapons. Okay. So it's just on Humble Bundle, huh? I don't know what the. Okay. Store. Software bundles. Okay. Store. Hey, is it part of the pick the bundles at the top, then software? Ah, okay, okay. And machine learning bundle. Okay. Massive Unreal Engine bundle. Yeah. Science fiction city, sewers, jungle, megastructure. Yeah. Kingdom capital. Like, what does it? Hmm. Mm-hmm. That looks pretty good. Game audio collection. Hmm. I was surprised that when I was searching the Unreal Store, like there's not that many like soldiers, like medieval soldiers or like, you know, these kinds of things. And if they are, they're pretty expensive. So again, that's like I don't wanna spend too much money. But this seems like yeah, this seems pretty good. Learn how to make games in Unity bundle. What does that even include? Bullet hell in Unity. City building game. Yeah, so this is like a so you like purchase a license for the tutorial. That's interesting. Did they have anything for Godot? Comic bundle. Hmm. Creature and character. Okay. But this is okay. Body type generator. See, I could get lost in this for like an hour, and I'm not sure I want to do that right now. But it is very interesting. Complete character creation for games. And this is the character creator though. Generate game sprites, Blender 2D sprite course. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you will use them. Uh, I guess also like it depends on like you said you want to go full time with this, I think. So that makes sense. Like you just invest in the thing and, you know, uh, because you expect to get money out of it. So yeah, that makes sense. For me though, I feel like it's more probable that like if I cannot find a cheap soldier asset, then I'm just gonna open Blender and download some tutorial and just like create a low poly, you know, character. And I'm gonna try to do it myself because I'm not gonna spend you know $100 on a bundle of like 5 soldiers that are you know whatever highly detailed. Like that's not what I need here. Like I could have stick figures walking around and it would make more sense than you know. Uh, but you know, it's not. I think for the game you're making, it makes sense to go the way you're going. So yeah. Okay. still need to do some cleanup here. Visualize positions. These functions are fine. Soldier taken damage. That's just preparation for that. This is initialize. This is fine. Toggle running, spawning soldiers. Yeah. Mark soldier as selected, unselected, okay. And these are just position calculations, which is something I do not want to touch at all. Yikes, this thing haunts my dreams, actually. Yeah. Well, also, you know, if money is not an issue, or like you have enough money to buy all the packs, then, you know, even better. I myself don't really have a huge budget to, you know, to spend on a hobby like this that hasn't really, you know, I don't have a plan what I want to do with this eventually. I'm not, you know, and so it's like I will spend money on literally anything else before I spend money on this, because it's just doesn't it doesn't make sense for now. But yeah, I will keep a lookout though. If they have a medieval bundle, I will probably buy it. Like, yeah, if there was like an easy way to get the assets, then I will do that. So yeah, it's a good suggestion, and I will try to set up some kind of Google alert or something, or like put something on my wish list. I will have to see if they have that functionality. Okay, so this all works, and I think the unit is there for clean. Now what I really want to do is do the same thing for the soldier. Could you not use MetaHuman to create some medieval characters? I don't know. I've never really run MetaHuman. But aren't like all the MetaHuman assets basically like super high poly? Like you would create those characters to be characters in game. That's how I understand MetaHuman. Like you create these highly detailed, you know, almost like movie level assets that then you can use. Like if I was making a Mass Effect game, then sure, like I want those characters to be MetaHuman created. But I'm not sure if MetaHuman does low poly. Again, like this is something that I'm gonna figure out eventually. But right now, you know, I can tell you when I'm gonna figure it out because I have it somewhere in my Notion. There, yeah. Where's the plan? I do have a whole. Yeah, so this is my planning chart, and assigning assets or like finding assets for the soldiers is it's not even 03. Yeah, I at one point I was traveling home from Bangkok and I had to sit at the airport for 3 hours. So I had my tablet with me and I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna write out everything I think I need. And so I spent those 3 hours writing this out, and that's why I'm organized. I actually am against organization like this. Like I think it's procrastination. I think it's better to just sit down and do work and just have like something like this where you just write out what you need to do instead of, you know, like a whole but airport time is pretty, like you don't have much to do. So that's what I did, but I don't even know where I have the assets right now. Unit types, Spawn point selection pregame. Yeah, I don't have them anywhere. Am I blind? What the fuck? Apply soldier stats to gameplay, concealment, tactics. Oh, here we go. 3D models. So version 0.6. Basically, when I have everything else, and it would probably be before, like when I'm trying to do ranged combat and like mounted combat, that's when I would want 3D models to get into. So this would probably be the beginning of 0.6, but Notion doesn't know how to organize it correctly. But that would be like a basic feature. Get all the 3D models to work. But before that, I can literally just use any, like I could run Blender and get like 5 boxes stacked on top of each other and use that as the soldiers. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh. Oh, okay. Sounds due in a week. Mm-hmm. Sounds like you're not gonna have all that much time to work on your game then, but good luck with that. No, I have a notebook too. I have this, and then I have like just the notes app on my phone. I still haven't. I saw a video on YouTube that's like you should. It was called the Grail method, like the Holy Grail, because in Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail, his father has this notebook, but also like Nathan Drake like has a notebook um, with all his stuff, and I still have like the video said that you should use notebooks like this. Just write everything down with no filters, and then once in a while you have to sit down and kind of filter through it and select which information is good, which is not very useful, and how to connect it. I still haven't found time to actually do that part, but I am writing things down. So I have things in Notes app, in this physical notebook, in Notion, everywhere. But I still have to, find time to go through it and sort it out. Because, like I said, I have different ideas for games, and I'm just kind of gathering ideas and what it could look like. But it's all chaos at this point. Moving country. Oh, okay. Well, where are you? Where are you moving then? Big ass whiteboard. Yeah, I used to have a big ass whiteboard, and it didn't help at all. Oh, okay. Norway is nice. I've been there. I've been there once, actually twice. Um, it's a very nice country. I was in Bergen, and it was very cold, obviously. But if you're from the UK, then I don't know if it's much colder. Let me take a look at my map. Okay, it's further north, so it's probably colder. Yeah. I've heard of it. I've heard of Stavanger. I haven't been there. I only went to Bergen because my sister was. She went there to study the violin, and I went with her to like help her get settled and stuff. She didn't want to do everything alone, so I went with her. And yeah, I think she told me she went to Stavanger a couple of times to play. But yeah, it's uh it's a very nice country. I really enjoyed the vibes, but not so much the prices. But you know, I imagine if you work in Norway, then the prices are not so crazy. Yeah. Okay. Where is this unit? Anyway, what I was gonna say about the whiteboard that that was yeah, I feel like the bundles are gonna have to stop in Norway, but I feel like as you have told me, you have plenty. So now just get to work and make your game, and then you can do both again. And I used to have the whiteboard back when I was writing much more music, and I thought like, okay, so for a music project, it would make sense to like, and I saw this on a video from like Hans Zimmer or one of those big composers. They have whiteboards and they write down like, okay, this cue is done, this track needs work, this scene has not been done at all. And I wanted to be like that, so I bought the whiteboard, and it didn't actually help in anything. It's just like one more way to uh procrastinate, in that you write it all out on the whiteboard and then you do your work, and then you have to go and update the whiteboard. And when you don't update the whiteboard for a while, it's going to be really like it's not going to be up to date, and you have to figure out, okay, have I really done this? Then like updating everything. This is why I don't like using Notion, and this is why I feel like uh, you know since I'm basically just using this, I will just switch to Samsung Notes, which is my default notes app, because like every time I had to go back and update and like check the database and populate, because every feature here has like a bunch of subtasks, and with all of that, I feel like it's it starts taking way too much time for what I need. So yeah, like it's good to write out what you need to do. That's fine, but I think it's important to have like the correct balance of, okay, is this what I need, or am I just wasting time pretending to be productive now? So get focused on something else and forget where I left off. Yeah, this is why I can't play video games anymore, because I started the second Final Fantasy VII remake game, whatever it's called, Rebirth, and that was like 3 weeks ago. And now if I go back, it's like, what are the controls? I don't remember where the story left off, and yeah, and so, and that's also why I left my my dragon game prototype, because I got focused on different things, and that's why I try to do this every day, at least for like half an hour, so that I don't forget. I don't forget where I was heading with this, and I can keep at it. But yeah, so like if you can if you can update the whiteboard like every day, so that you know exactly where you were, maybe it will work for you. It's worth a try. But again, I feel like if you write down, in your notes, like, okay, this is what I was doing, like it might have the same impact. So, I don't know how expensive whiteboards will be in Norway, but might be worth the investment. The dragon game sounds, yeah. Seriously, I don't understand why there aren't more dragon games. I don't get it. Because like flying on a dragon should be the coolest fucking thing you can do in a video game, right? Like you sit on the, like, imagine those scenes from Game of Thrones, right? When Daenerys was just burning shit down on a dragon. That was sick. That was, well, not the final episode, but the, when she was fighting the Lannister armies, or whichever armies she was fighting. That was insanely cool. And the game that I'm talking about, the game Lair on the PS3, when it worked, which wasn't very often, but when it worked, it was incredible. You had like armies fighting on the battlefield down below. You swoop down and you burn shit, and then you go fight other dragons, and that was great. But the game was janky as fuck. but I feel like there should be more dragon games. Yeah, this is exactly what I want to make. But again, the way I want to make it is there would be okay. So the concept is basically there's a kingdom that has dragons and it gets invaded, and you would have a kind of a tactical map when you choose, like in the old Command and Conquer games, where you would choose where you want to fight, and so you would have to fight in these different sections of the map, and there would be, you choose, okay, I want to fight here, and it's like a pre-made map, and then you fight the enemy, you attack their soldiers, whatever, and as you win ground or lose ground, the story would move in different directions. But for that, I would need, like voice actors and composers and 3D artists. So I can't make that. But one day, if I make money with this game, then I will make I will make the bigger games later. But for now, I have to, and that's actually why I chose to do this game, because technically, you know, if you look at this, you know, you have I'm basically doing a building block for the dragon game with this game, because now I have soldiers moving informations and fighting, and one day I will just add dragons into it. So that's I'll be waiting. Well, you know, don't hold your breath, but you know, it might happen someday. I actually wrote, like 3 years ago. I did something called NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. It's this online challenge uh, where you have to write for everybody who has like an idea for a book or a novel or whatever, and you have to write it in November in 30 days. And people motivate each other's on forums and stuff like that. And I did that, and I wrote the whole story for the game, or like a version of the story. If the game story would be changing, that then it cannot be linear. But I wrote a linear version of that, and that was 3 years ago, and I haven't done anything with it. But I have the story ready, so that's 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 something, I think. Uh, Heroes and Generals. I don't think I've played Heroes and Generals. What is Heroes and Generals? Free to play first person. Show me. So does it have like a? Oh, this, I guess, would be, yeah, something like this, basically. There was I mean, even the game I'm making now is very much, inspired by the Total War series. I don't know, whichever one I take, the Three Kingdoms is still, I don't know if it's the last one. But like, yeah, you have a map here, and you capture provinces and you move armies around, which is not exactly what I want. I would basically just want to say, okay, so the invaders are the red ones and my kingdom is the green one, and you can, like, if you attack here, it's going to be an easier mission, but you're going to lose ground down here. If you support this, it will be harder. But like, I wanted the story to have different ways to conclude, perhaps. Or maybe, like, if that's too complicated, maybe I'll just make a linear one. Either way, like, I would want it to be, you know, this, but with a dragon on top of it. Like, hold on, I'm just gonna find a layer screenshot, because that game was, everybody hated that game. Everybody, uh, you know, was shitting on the game because the graphics were weird, and but I mean, there's not even like a high resolution screenshot of this game. Can I get a like a high res screenshot? Yeah. And by the way, you mentioned cinematic music. Lair has some of the best music ever written for a video game. So like I will die on that hill. And it was incredible. But like hold on. It's like you had scenes like this, right? Like there were these, hundreds of little soldiers walking around, and then you just like landed on your dragon and burned them all to crisp. Like this was and it was great and when it worked, but the problem with this game was that it had the PS3 controller that tilted and moved, and so you flew the dragon and you turned him left or right by tilting the controller, and by the time they patched that out or like made it optional, uh everybody was basically like, this game sucks. But you could fight other dragons, and it was I don't know, for me it was it was really just, I always thought there should be more games like that. Like, look at this. There's like a, catapult here trying to kill me. The dragon swooping over the soldiers, burning them from the skies. Like that's epic. It's there, again. There should be more dragon games, but whatever. Enough about the dragons. They're playing against like Total War. Yeah. Are you a PC player or a console player? Because you know, Total War is, uh, you know, they're good games. Like if you can try one, the even if you have like older hardware, the Medieval 2, I think that's pretty old by now. But they're great games. They are, uh, kind of easy to learn, hard to master, that kind of thing. And so yeah, they're 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 fun to play. I love those graphics. They remind me of my. Yeah. Well, those graphics, like I guess those graphics were good for a PS3 game, but it was all just kind of gray, and the color palette was very desaturated, and it was chaotic. Like when you were flying over the battlefield, you wouldn't know which soldiers were yours, and the game had issues. Like the game was supposed to be something completely different. I read like a long article about how the game was developed. It was a PS3 launch title, and then they like didn't have enough time. They were making a new engine, and this was Factor 5, which is like a famed developer. I never played their games, like the ones they made before, but they made the Star Wars Rogue Squadron or whatever it's called, like the flying games. Uh, but yeah, they had it was basically very hard to develop that game, and they they eventually just messed it all up. Yeah. Beta DK. What is this about? Okay, that looks impressive. It kind of reminds me of Wall-E. Is this okay? Like I mean like the piles of, but this is not garbage. This is like buildings. Okay, never mind then. Does it remind me of Wall-E? Is it wait, are these blocks? Is it like a Minecraft thing? Oh, okay. Explains the graphics. It's very similar. Yeah. I'm fascinated by the fact that a single developer can make this Like that's incredible. To have a yeah. In a world with no explanation. Okay, that's a good start. Okay. Infinity abhors inexistence. That sounds deep. Okay, so it's like, mm-hmm. Hey, this looks like Metal Gear, especially like these two little thingies here. It reminds me of the first Metal Gear Solid game. Okay, I like the art style. Dark dystopian RPG. You can build spaceships, join factions. Okay. Is it an MMO or just an RPG? Because it does say single player on here. It kind of looks like, well, I mean, with the scope of it, become an engineer or a mech pilot. It's kind of like, what's that game? What's the game that was really shitty on release and then they fixed it? Why can't I remember names of games? That's stupid. Uh, yeah, this is what I meant. But why is there? No Man's Sky was the game I was thinking about. It's like, seems like there's a lot to do and a whole world to do it in. So, yeah, Star Citizen is another one. Patreon has more up-to-date details. Yeah, it looks cool, but this is another one of those games. I wanted to get into No Man's Sky now that it's apparently good. And then I had to just stop because these games are so massive and I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to get lost in a video game for hours at a time. I used to play a lot of Euro Truck Simulator. I actually bought a steering wheel basically just for that. And I couldn't, I couldn't justify the hobby basically. I was just like, I liked it. I liked the calm driving, nature of the game, but it's like I don't have 2 hours to drive around in a video game. And if I do have 2 hours of free time, I guess I should just do something that I want to do. So hence hence me being here. So yeah. What is set material? The fuck? What kind of material am I setting? Okay, hold on. I detect a moment to expand what games I play when my views drop when it's not. Yeah. Yeah, that's the algorithms. They're gonna get you. Okay, I'm really confused about what this thing does though. Sorry, I'm gonna respond to you more, but I am now. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that's like because people don't want to watch anything else or because algorithms think people don't want to watch anything else. I'm kind of, you know, yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Is Call of Duty still like the biggest game ever? Like last time I was aware of Call of Duty was when they started remaking Modern Warfare. I think I was just like I just stopped paying attention. But I thought like Fortnite and Apex Legends and all those games like took Call of Duty's thunder, but I guess they didn't. Well, still, do you do TikTok as in like it's something you do for money? Like, do you have to have followers? I guess that's what I'm asking. Like, is having or not having followers important in terms of like, you know, existing? Because if you don't need the followers, I'd just say fuck it and do whatever content you want to do. But yeah, if it's tied to your money, then yeah, that sucks. Our creators have heard of that, but I don't think I've even seen like a trailer. Yeah. It's funny that Call of Duty kind of just keeps staying alive by copying other people's homework. Like last time I played Call of Duty was when they basically did the the Fortnite style or the PUBG like shrinking arena. I don't even know what it's called. See, I'm very very bad in my FPS lingo. Warzone, yeah, that's what I played. Yeah, mm, yeah, uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I've recently started like realizing that I'm getting old, and all of us are. So it's just like, don't waste time doing things that are not fun unless you're getting paid for them. Like if you're getting paid, then doing not fun things is fine. Still, if you can find something else that you can be paid for, go for that. But yeah, if TikTok isn't paying well, then whatever. And I'm sure some of your followers will stick around and play whatever you want to play. So there's also that. But I don't know. I shouldn't be giving out a lot of advice. Okay, I'm so confused by this whole thing. 29. Yeah. Yeah. I've arrived at that too, like social media just to upload. Like I do these very short little clips of, you know, it's not really self-help. It's more like, you know, things that I've learned that maybe some people need to hear. And I do that on TikTok and I have like 5 followers, but that's fine. Um but yeah, at 37 now, I'm just like, I'm not gonna waste time on social media if I don't, if it doesn't make me happy, which it usually doesn't. Like after a few minutes, it's just like algorithmic slump. So yeah. Uh yeah, hold on. I'm gonna type it up into here. I think that's my TikTok handle. I think. Hold on, let me check. But again, it's not going to be a whole lot of fun. Yeah, that's the hand. So if you follow me here, then that's those are like my personal things. Oh well, thank you. So you have this handle on TikTok as well. Well, I'm gonna follow you right now. Uh, well, there you are. Oh, GSG. Okay, I'm gonna follow you back. There we go. Okay, good. If for nothing else, then because you make me not talk to myself, which I feel a little stupid. But when you stop by, it no longer feels stupid. So thank you for that. Um, I have to figure out what this function does. Set material. It's in the construction script for some reason. But this is not my. This is not my construction script. What the fuck is this? Jesus Christ. Okay, I do not want to be here. I guess I should not remove this. Okay, here we go. BP soldier, set material, set material. I have no idea what this function does. I'm just gonna leave it there for now, but I think there is a game like, but not with dragons and Vikings though. So yeah, there's a like a city building or like a, I don't know. It is technically a city builder. It's like ancient Norway style, but I'm not sure if it's specifically Norwegian or just like northern. Uh, yeah, I feel like that would be cool. Um, especially now that you're gonna live in Norway, I feel like that's gonna be very authentic. So yeah, I like that there are so many. I had another guy come into the chat from time to time. He's making a game about driving on hover bikes, and it's just like I've only met like two people just from streaming here, but between the three of us, we have like seven different ideas for video games, and I love that. I love that there's so much. People want to make so much stuff, and they don't get to, and I hate that. But we still try, and that's really something. I like seeing that. I like seeing that there are so many people who are creative, who want to make shit all the time. Write books, write stories, make games. It's very inspiring in a way. So yeah, make that game, make the RTS game. Uh, and it's kind of funny. I would say maybe play some RTS games before, but to a certain degree, like maybe not. Maybe make an RTS game that you think would be fun and like doesn't have to be constrained by what other people think RTS games should be. So yeah, just do it. Battalion 1944. Yeah. Um, you know, to be fair, I think if there is a game engine that will handle multiplayer for you and very easily, it will be Unreal. So, you know, maybe the multiplayer is scary. It is scary for me too. I have no idea how I'm gonna actually, you know, do the multiplayer part. But on the other hand, like it's probably gonna be fine, you know. So I'm sure you can make both those games, and you know, especially with all the assets you have. I'm pretty sure you have all the assets you need. So yeah, yeah, yeah. But isn't like anti-cheat just like isn't that part of the package? I don't know, but you know, I would assume that Epic has something to get you started at least, but I don't know. I've never thought of that though, like hackers killing a game like that. It's, that sucks. It is definitely something to think about for sure. Now it's 8:10. I will have to end the stream soon and go start my day. Isn't it like oh, okay, so that's why it's 2 a.m. in the morning for you, because it's here in the UK. Okay. Yeah. That's something separate you have to buy. Yeah. It's like a middleware you will have to plug into your game probably. I don't know. It sucks that there are people who will just like hack a game and ruin the fun for everybody. I kind of hate that. So, well, maybe you know if it's a, uh, sorry, you know, if it's an indie game and you know you ask the hackers nicely, they will leave you alone. I don't know. I have no other nothing else to add to that. I'm hoping that if I ever release my game, it will probably be vulnerable because again, I don't know what I'm doing. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like a lot of these things are just it's gonna be fine. You know, just make your game, and the rest is gonna happen. Handle move order. Okay. So I need to create a category here that says deprecated because I'm really not going to be using these functions. Turn in place is also deprecated. Visualize position, check movement complete. Damage taken, death, test damage. Okay, test damage and death are both just like testing functions. Testing. I just thought of something funny. You should check if you haven't bought some anti-cheat asset already. It might be in one of the packs. But you know, maybe not. Okay, soldier HP. I'm just gonna do that. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to end this stream now because life awaits. But thanks for stopping by, and I will check out your TikTok, and maybe I will get into Call of Duty or whatever you're playing. Weirder things have happened. Um, but yeah, I will see you around, and have fun, and good luck with the kid if it gets if it gets born before my next stream. Okay, see you around.